What's your problem?
Why do I have to cook all the time?
Because you're a woman.
And?
A woman's job is in the kitchen.
Look, if you want a woman that's gonna cook all the time, you need to go find one.
Ain't no way in hell I'm leaving my man. I'm not here to judge anybody doing this 4B movement, but telling people to divorce their husbands is crazy. First of all, this is the type of movement that is never going to work if every woman in America is not on board. What's going to happen is that a handful of y'all are going to leave your husbands and end up miserable and alone while your husband is laid up with somebody new. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Black women, have you ever asked yourself the question, why are black men running from us and into the arms of another race? Just look at the reason the welfare system was put into play. It was put into play purposely to break up the family unit between the man and the woman.
The number one rule to be a part of the fake little sisterhood that women have convinced themselves that they have is to hate men. That's the only, you can't sit with them unless you hate men. The definition of decentering men when it comes to the little fake sisterhood of traveling pants that these women have convinced themselves that they have is their definition of decentering a man is no longer talking good about them and talking bad about them all day.
I know how you feel, 'cause I feel the same.
House cleaning before we get started. For those who have been rocking with me from day one, I appreciate the support. For those who may be new here, coming in or out the door from me, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get it cracking in the comments. Every bit of your engagement absolutely helps promote your boy into the YouTube algorithm. I thank y'all for the support. Now, let's get to it. Drop the video. Let's go.
What's your problem?
Why do I have to cook all the time?
Because you're a woman.
And?
A woman's job is in the kitchen.
Look, if you want a woman that's gonna cook all the time, you need to go find one.
What she won't do, another woman will. Look, this was a funny skit. I get it. You know, it's basically saying that you may think you're irreplaceable, but the things that may seem burdensome to you, akin to slavery to you, another woman is willing to do happily. And I think in modern relationships, on both sides, not just women, but both sides, men as well, we can begin to take our partners for granted. We can begin to stop doing the things that keeps our partners interested in us, right? Cooking, cleaning, love languages, helping one another, doing chores as a team. I think we have to continue to do these things and work on the relationship for the relationship to actually last. And if you get so staunchly entrenched into what you're not going to do for a relationship, what you're not going to do for your partner, then what's the point of being in a relationship? Because relationships are compromises. They're give and take. You may not want to do things that your partner want to do, but that's the compromise. Sometimes you're going to do things that your partner wants to do that you don't necessarily want to do. And that goes for both men and women. There are things that women like that they expect their partner to do for them, and the partner, the man, doesn't like it or can't stand it. But guess what, guy? You got to do it because you signed up for the relationship. Same for women. There are things that men like and have interest in that women loathe and don't like. But guess what, chick? You signed up for the relationship. You got to do it. You got to do it. And I'm not saying you have to do it all the time. I'm not saying you have to do it 90% of the time, but you have to do it sometimes. You have to compromise, and you have to be willing to put your preferences, your likes aside for your partner. Why? Because you signed up for the relationship. That's it. You signed up. Work on it. Make it better. Make it grow. Keep it healthy. That's your job on both sides.
Ain't no way in hell I'm leaving my man. I'm not here to judge anybody doing this 4B movement, but telling people to divorce their husbands is crazy. First of all, this is the type of movement that is never going to work if every woman in America is not on board. What's going to happen is that a handful of y'all are going to leave your husbands and end up miserable and alone while your husband is laid up with somebody new. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Like, I just seen a video and the lady was like, divorce your husbands immediately if you can. Scary amount of women on there that was like, yep, I've been telling everybody to divorce their husbands. And then she went on to tell people to poison, schmurder their husbands. Ma'am, you're advocating for schmurder. No one sees an issue with that. And then again, a scary amount of comments like, yep. please educate me. I'm genuinely having a hard time wrapping my mind around what purpose is that serving. Now, me personally, I'm not married. I do have a man, a great man. Ain't no way on God's green earth I'm finna leave my man. Is you crazy? I'm genuinely having a hard time wrapping my mind around this concept. In a bigger picture, I really want to point out with this is anybody does have a husband worth divorcing or a man worth leaving. This is what it took for you to leave your man. People stick around for neglect, abuse, mistreatment, cheating, lying. Y'all stayed for that. But this is what it took for you to leave? Genuinely having a hard time grasping. Why do I need to leave my man? To prove a point to a government that is not going to give a fuck about us either way it goes. Y'all do realize that, right? I'm just saying. So if that makes me an enemy because I cannot get behind this, I guess I'm an enemy because I'm not leaving my man. The hell? The way my man stands by me, supports me, lifts me up, and loves me in any way, shape, or form possible, I would literally be insane to leave my man. I don't care. Now, honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. I really do feel bad for the men out there that are good men who are waking up today and they women is just like, skirt, I'm gone, done, because TikTok told me to. I really wish y'all would use this same energy to vote for your state reps, state's attorney, judges, things like that, that really is going to make a difference. I'm gonna pray for y'all though.
Look, she spoke nothing but facts. If you're stupid enough to end a relationship over a presidential election, then you're profoundly stupid. I don't know why people oftentimes lose their minds over presidential elections as if they're the end all to be all or be all to end all. They're not. Like she said, it's more important to vote and participate in your local civics, in your local elections. The people who actually represent you the closest to where you live. The people who actually profoundly can make laws to help or hinder your existence at home. Not presidential elections. I get it. They're big deals, but what's more of a big deal is local civics, right? The local elections, the local judges, the local district attorneys, the local city council members and governors and mayors. These people profoundly affect you more than who's sitting in the White House. And outside of that, let me say this to anyone foolish enough to listen to any talking head on social media tell you to end your relationship, right? I'm going to look dead in my camera and say this, right? Here's my camera. Let me look dead into it and say it. Anyone listening to anyone on social media tell you to leave your relationship or smurder someone you're in a relationship with, you're stupid. You need therapy and you need to unplug from social media as quick as you can. Find someone who loves you to drive you to the nearest facility for psychiatric treatment because you're stupid.
Black women, have you ever asked yourself the question, why are black men running from us and into the arms of another race? Just look at the reason the welfare system was put into play. It was put into play purposely to break up the family unit between the man and the woman and take the role of a black man. Just look at the term welfare. Pronounce it backwards and you have farewell. Saying farewell to the black man. They literally stripped him from his manhood, making it impossible for him to be able to provide for his family. And then because of that, the woman lost respect for him. Can you see how demoralizing it is when a man's ability to provide for himself and his family is taken away? At some point, ladies, we got to stop making everything about us and always playing victim. We got to start to see the bigger picture. I mean, after all, they did come out of our womb man. If we don't nurture our black men, who else is going to do it?
Look, I see the unk, and I have nothing against this sister. I think what she's saying, for the most part, is true. We all know the history. If you don't know the history of the welfare system, I suggest you go and research it. We all know the history of it. We all know the history of Planned Parenthood. We all know the history of, Roe versus Wade, how that profoundly affect the black community, how it took away, about 25 million people from our population. We know that welfare drove a wedge between black men and black women before, feminism and welfare. Black men and women were married at an 80% click. We know that our government and the democratic practices of benign neglect, pumping all type of drugs and firearms and cutting blacks away from financial opportunities, from just basic civil rights, has profoundly affected the black community. I don't argue against any of that. Redlining, blockbusting, gentrification, denying black soldiers that came home, access to the GI Bill, food deserts in black communities where they have to primarily buy their goods from corner stores or convenience stores or service stations or gas stations. I understand all of that. However, with me understanding all that, the wedge between black men and black women is a choice that black women, for the most part, chose. The government, the system of white supremacy can offer all those things to black women as much as they like. Black women had to make the choice to participate. Black women made the choice to participate in feminism. Black women made the choice to accept welfare. Black women made the choice to embrace baby mama culture and out of wedlock birth. Black women made the choice to do a lot of these destructive things that has utterly and completely destroyed the black community. Just like black men made a lot of choices to sell drugs, to be criminals, to leave their homes, to not want to put themselves more in a situation to provide that stability to their families. All these things are choices, right? And we have to stop as a community, as a whole, looking for perpetual victimhood, right? All these things did happen to us, but it's 2025. We live in modern times. With the system of white supremacy stopping us to a degree from achieving certain things, it's by no stretch of the imagination like it used to be. We can be whatever we choose to be in this country. We can participate in whatever we choose to participate in. We have choices. And if we continue to make wrong or bad choices, our communities will never grow. We have to change our pathology. We have to put family first, community first, marriage first, raising our children in two-parent households, and both black men and black women working together for financial stability, not apart. We have choices, and we're not making great choices. We have to take accountability for our role in our own destruction. Our destruction, yes, was not by our design. It was not by our design, but our participation in that destruction was. And those are the facts. Let's go to the next one.
The number one rule to be a part of the fake little sisterhood that women have convinced themselves that they have is to hate men. That's the only, you can't sit with them unless you hate men. The definition of decentering men when it comes to the little fake sisterhood of traveling pants that these women have convinced themselves that they have is, their definition of decentering a man is no longer talking good about them and talking bad about them all day. A lot of these women hate men more than they love themselves. A lot of these women hate men more than they love their children. A lot of these women hate men more than they love other women. The fact that these women are pretending to like women. Child, y'all do remember right after the election, right? When a lot of women were like, we're only going to be for ourselves. Like, we only sticking up for ourselves. We not coming into no black man rescue. We not coming to nobody else's rescue, da-da-da-da-da. Y'all do notice how one business week later, they were dragging a black woman for her opinion? Y'all do notice how right now there is black women right now being drugged for their opinion? When it comes to being a girl's girl, and why I say I would never be a girl's girl, I would never be honored to be a girl's girl, a lot of them self-proclaimed girls always have an alter ego of a mean girl. Y'all do notice that, right? These women are only girls for women that they pity. There are only girls for women that are a little bit overweight, women that don't keep themselves up, women that they don't see as competition, women that they don't think a man will like. Because whether it's positive or negative, Men are always at the root of these self-proclaimed girls, these self-proclaimed we hate men, women lover clubs. A lot of the time, men are at the root of them. These women don't know how to decenter men to actually save their lives.
What she said was absolutely right. I've said this about most misandrists on social media. There's two things that's always true about misandrists on social media. One, they're feminists, and two, they're oftentimes lesbians. Those are the two things that are always true about them. Now, for the ones that are feminists, they hate men so much, they perpetuate misandry so much, but strangely and oddly enough, they can't stop sleeping with men. They can't stop having children. But they hate men so much. They're afraid of men so much. They're oppressed by men so much. They need protection from men so much, and femicide and blah, 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 yakety smackety. But every time you pay attention to them, they're laid up with a man. They got plenty of kids, and they just can't decenter men to save their soul. I wonder why. You hate men so much, but you can't get rid of men. Like, I get it. You don't like men. You're a misandrist. You practice, misandra noir, right? But you always have a man around. You seem to always be entangled with men, but you hate them so much, right? Then you have the other side, the lesbians, right? You know they don't deal with men, but they always have something to say about men. I don't understand that angle. Like, you don't deal with men. You're into conversion therapy. You're trying to get more women over to your side. And you do it by always bringing up men. You don't decenter men. You make men the focal point of your conversion. Men are so bad, come to the other side. Men are this, come to the other side. Men are that, come on over to the other side. If you, in fact, decenter men and you want to only and solely be with women, what's the positivity angle? What's the positive to bring them over to your side? Because I always hear the negative, but I never hear the positive. You don't say it's better on this side because we have lower DV rates. You don't, you have the highest. You don't say it's positive to be on this side because there's never any conflict between us. You have plenty of conflict. You never say it's positive to be on this side because we have ultimate understanding and compromise. When we hear about the interactions between female on female relationships are rife with turmoil and discourse, right? Full of discourse. So what's the damn positive to be with women when you decenter men if you still have the same issues you have with men? To me, it lends to the fact that maybe men aren't the problem. Maybe it's the women who practice feminism and misandry. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. She's ahead of her time. I bet she was head of the class. She always has her head on straight. She's a head above the rest. She has a good head on her shoulder. Look, man, I'm not trying to be a bully here. I'm not trying to rag on her, but what in the hell is going on here? I don't know if she's a cousin of Megamind or what. Like, it's a Daddy War from Star Trek. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm getting Klingon vibes from her, man. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on with this chick, man. I really do not know. Bless her soul, man. There's someone out there for everyone. I hope she finds someone that can love her as she should be loved, because everybody needs it. I'm not trying to bully this young lady. I promise you. I just think this video is hilarious because we all have eyes. Like, we got to stop pretending we don't see things that we can clearly see. We can clearly see that head is abnormal. And that's all I'm going to say about that, man. That's all I got. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get it cracking in the comments. I'll see y'all in the credits. 2 fingers. Peace. I'm out of here. Catch y'all in the next one. Good Lord, that's ahead. She's ahead of her time. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like Jesus.
You think that what we're fighting about is stupid. Just cause you don't agree don't mean it's stupid. Lately communication feels so useless.